still have the first overall pick. I have a hard time seeing them staying put. So of the Jets trading up to get their franchise QB. And then for the trade, I would say that the Jets give up first their first round picks and one next year along with either third or fourth. But I already tried and it didn't go through, so I'll just force this trade. And then we'll have them selecting Dante Moore. The Jets season has been an absolute disaster, and Justin Fields clearly isn't the answer. And Moore had a great season after taking over as the starter for Oregon, and I have a hard time seeing him not declaring for the draft. I have the Raiders taking Heisman winner Fernando Mendoza. Trading for Geno Smith has completely backfired, and they'll definitely look to move on from him even after 1 year. Mendoza led Indiana to the Big Ten championship and the one seed in the college football playoff, which was completely unexpected. That the Titans don't need, and I think they should just go with the best available player here and take Arvell Reese, who has really broken out for Ohio State this year. Reese is an athletic freak that can rush the passer with his elite explosiveness and play off-ball linebacker, and the Titans' defense has all around been very bad this year, and they need more production off the edge, so Reese fills that void. One of the best defenses in the NFL, but only have 3 wins to show for it because of how poor the offense has been. Shedur's been up and down, but has shown upside enough to consider him being the starter for 2026. And with the two top QBs off the board, I don't think they'd take a QB here, so I have them going wide receiver, since Jerry Jeudy is their leading receiver, who's probably a wide receiver 4 or 5 on any other team. And they'll be taking Carnell Tate, who is a down the field threat that hasn't dropped the pass all season for Ohio State. The Giants don't have any glaring positional needs like the first 4 teams, but I think they could use an upgrade to the defense that has underperformed, specifically in the secondary at safety with Caleb Downs. This might be a little high for a safety because they have less positional value, but this draft is relatively weak, and Downs can pretty much do it all and is the best safety prospect we've seen since Kyle Hamilton, and has a really high floor and one of the safest picks in my opinion. I think the Cardinals try and grab a franchise tackle here, and same as the Browns, the top QBs are gone, so even if they want to move on from Kyler, they would have to reach on Ty Simpson. I think it's between Milwaga or Fanu here, but I have them going with Milwaga from Miami. Saints could use help off the edge, and Ruben Bain falling to the Saints at 7 would probably be their dream scenario because some of the big boards have him as the best player in the class. This season for the Commanders couldn't really have gone worse considering they were in the NFC Championship last year, and the defense was just atrocious, being they're not really a position that they don't need. In a pick 9, they'd be getting better value for the front 7, so of them drafting edge rusher David Bailey, who was the most productive edge rusher in college football last year, finishing with 13.5 sacks, 17.5 tackles for loss, and 3 forced fumbles, leading Power 4 in sacks and tackles for loss. The Bills have had yet another disappointing season and have the worst defense in football by a wide margin. The last 3 seasons, they've drafted 5 defensive players in round 1 and 2, mostly being on the front 7, with pretty much 4 of them being below expectations. But they did hit on DJ Turner, who's quietly had a really good season, and is by far the best player in its defense, excluding Hendrickson. I have them drafting corner Mansoor Delane, who's been locked down this year and regarded as the best man coverage corner. It's unfair that the Rams are on track to have a top 10 pick. They don't have any big position needs, but they could use another corner, so I'll have them taking Gerard McCoy. McCoy already declared for the draft despite missing all of 2025 due to a torn ACL, but is still regarded as either the 1A or 1B corner in this class. Dolphins are somehow 6 and 8, but it seems like they pretty much need every position. I have them going Jordan Tyson, who is regarded by most as the best receiver in the draft class, but has injury concerns and has been injured all 3 years of his college seasons. I doubt Tyreek Hill's on the team next year, so they'll need someone to pair with Jalen Waddle. First time in 7 years, the Chiefs will not be playing in the AFC Championship, and the dynasty might finally be over. They still need some help for the pass rush outside of Karlaftis, so I have them taking Keldrick Folk, He's more of a project and developmental pick, and might not fit what the Chiefs are trying to do, but he's a physical freak that is more of a run stopper and a work in progress in the pass rush. Vikings need a true running back one, and it would help take pressure off J.J. McCarthy, so I have them picking Jeremiah Love, who looks to be far and away the best running back in this class. He was a Heisman finalist, finishing fourth in rushing yards and third in touchdowns, averaging nearly 7 yards per carry. The Cowboys' defense has been horrible this year, and they badly need help outside of the D-line, and I feel like Sonny Styles would be the perfect fit for this defense that needs linebacker help. Even still need receiver help with Rashad Bateman not really panning out yet, so they need someone next to Zay Flowers to help out Lamar, and we'll be taking Mekhi Lemon, who won the Biletnikoff this year. Panthers could use another outside corner next to J.C. Horn, and Avion Terrell will be the pick here, who's the brother of Falcons corner A.J. Terrell. Terrell thrives in man press despite being undersized and creates a lot of turnovers, having 5 forced fumbles this year, 11 turnovers through 3 seasons at Clemson. Lions need help rushing the passer, so I have them taking T.J. Parker. Parker's production fell off from last year where he had 11 sacks and 6 forced fumbles, only having 5 sacks this year, but his hand techniques and relentless pass rush still have him as one of the top edge rushers in this class. Defense has allowed the most yards per rush in the NFL and second most rushing yards per game, so I have them adding to the D-line drafting Peter Woods. Woods is explosive and would be great for a team that has edge rushers but just needs more help inside. The Bucks need help on defense, and I think they need a linebacker. So I have them going C.J. Allen, who's the best in this linebacker in this class against the run, but does need to improve on coverage. The Steelers need another receiver to pair with DK Metcalf, and they barely use the middle of the field. But Denzel Boston thrives in the middle intermediate range, which is exactly what the Steelers need, along with it being a deep threat too. The Eagles could go a lot of different ways for this pick, but I have them drafting Oregon tight end Kenyon Sadiq. Dallas Goedert is a free agent this offseason, and they'll have to pay him a good amount for him to stay. Sadiq has really good speed for a tight end and will be an intermediate and down the field threat. The Texans need O-line help to protect Stroud, and I have them drafting offensive tackle Spencer Fanu, who has a combination of elite run blocking and good technique as a pass blocker and moves very well for a lineman. The Cowboys have allowed the most passing yards per game in the league, and the secondary hasn't been able to cover anyone, so I have them drafting cornerback Colton Hood. Hood is a good man coverage corner that plays at the catch point. The Bills still don't have a wide receiver one, and Keon Coleman isn't panning out, so I have them going receiver with KC Concepcion. Concepcion had 57 catches for 886 yards and 9 touchdowns for Texas A&M, and builds up his speed instead of instant explosiveness and thrives in the middle of the field. Bears need pass rush help, so I have them drafting edge rusher Cassius Howell. Howell had 11.5 sacks this season, and his first step in explosiveness allow for him to be good in the pass rush, but there are concerns that he has a smaller frame, so he might get pushed around and struggle a little against the run, not being an every down player. The Chargers' offensive line has been terrible, especially without Joe Alt, and they have to protect Herbert get better, giving up the second most sacks in the NFL, so I have them taking Ola Vega Eon. Eon is great size and is a good athlete for how big he is, and specializes in pass defense, staying square with defenders with a strong base while still being a capable run defender. I have the Browns strengthening their offensive line with Pierre Pickett and Proctor. Proctor is an absolute monster, being 6'7", 366 pounds, which beefs up the O-line and has a lot of potential if he can develop properly. Next up, the 49ers could upgrade the interior of the defensive line, so I have them drafting Ohio State D lineman Caden McDonald. McDonald has risen up draft boards and been a big part of Ohio State's elite defense. His pass rush needs improvement, but he's a great run stopper. Stafford will be 38 by the end of this season and could mentor Ty Simpson, where it could kind of be like what the Packers did with Rodgers and Love, even though Simpson looks like he's probably the most NFL ready quarterback, but it would also set up the Rams' future. Next, the Patriots are a pretty balanced team, so It was hard to find like any glaring needs for them, but they could use help in the pass rush, so I have them drafting LT Overton, who's versatile and has good tools combined with explosiveness. With Reek Woolen and Jackson Joe being free agents next year, Seattle could use a corner to an already loaded secondary. Brandon Cisse has emerged as one of the best corners in the nation, being shut down in man coverage with a completion percentage of below 40. And then to round it out, the Broncos' defense has been incredible, so we'll look to upgrade on the offensive side, adding Chris Bell to the receiving core, who had 72 catches for 917 yards and 6 touchdowns, but unfortunately tore his ACL. He has a good combination of size and speed, allowing him to be a potential matchup nightmare for opposing defenses, but does have to improve his route running. Thanks for watching.